Well, it's true that the vast majority of cases settle. Cases only settle because you worked really hard and you prepared them and you showed the other side that you're not afraid to try this case, that you have a good case and that you're not afraid to put it into a jury's hands. And if they don't believe that, or if that's not true, they won't settle. Why should they? If there's no risk to them, if they think that it's all just a bluff, then they would never settle. And that's why, that's why we have a policy of no bluffing. I don't send hassle demands, and I don't tell someone I'm going to do something when I'm not prepared to do it. And we work really hard, and I hope that it's always good. It's really good for my clients when the case settles. But often you end up with the other side. They don't want to. They just refuse to believe they did anything wrong, or they want to engage in sport litigation, which is just going to do it for sport, and they think it's going to be fun. And it's my job to, I just approach that the same way as I approach every other case. I prepare the case as if I'm going to trial. If the other side wants to be reasonable, that settlement is a product of both sides being reasonable and cooler heads prevailing. If the other side refuses to be reasonable, well, you only have two options. You either fight with them and say, you know what, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me, or you give up. Those are the only two options, because if they won't try and find a middle ground, or they won't come to a reasonable place, well, then you just have to take it all the way and fight with them. And I approach every case as if that's going to happen, with a hope, and along the way make sure I'm posturing things so that I'm communicating to the other side how the case is going to look at the end, and encouraging them to be reasonable, and hopefully also helping my client get a good understanding of the risks, and so my client wants to be reasonable. And if everybody's reasonable, well, then we wouldn't need juries.